Good evening, Facebook. Good evening, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I'd like everyone to do me a huge favor as you come into the room. Do me a huge favor and like and share this video. Also, send me a heart. Send me a heart or a thumbs up. Let me know whether or not you can hear this live video. Also, please list in the comment where you are from. I want to get to know my viewers. So do me a huge favor and just drop that information in there for me as I share this video out with a few people. Just sharing. Thank you. I can't see who that is right now because I'm sharing. But we're going to go ahead and get started soon. Go ahead, like and share this video for me. Like and share this video. I am just trying to, thank you, thank you, thank you. Just trying to share this with some folks here. Wow, so I got a lot of people scrolling through here. Hey, Miss Shirley. Hey, Miss Angela Walker. The banker. Geraldine Jefferson, Miss Holly Robinson. Hello, everyone. Hello. We're going to get started in just a little bit. But while we're waiting, let's talk a little bit. Let's just chat, okay? As you can tell, for those of you who know that, you know, what I've been going through the last couple of days ago, if you can tell, I am in a much better spirit than I have been in the last couple of days. I've got a lot of energy. I got up this morning like 3 o'clock and I've been just going, taking care of some business at home, doing some work. Hey, Shirley, good evening. Doing some work here at home. My voice has cleared up. The other day it was sore, it was raspy, and you know, I'm like, oh my God, I'm starting to sound like Magilla Gorilla. I don't know what's happening here, right? All kinds of things was happening, but it seems like those things are now clearing up, and I just have a lot more energy than I've had in a very, very long time. So I'm excited. I want to also thank each and every one of you who has taken the time to send those prayers up. I appreciate it. I can feel it. I can feel it. I can feel it. Like I said, I got more energy than I've had in a little while. My voice is changing, and I am, you know, I'm thanking God in advance that I'll not have to take any more medication for this issue. So with that being said, I hope everyone's evening is going well. We had, I think, a pretty nice day today. I didn't go outside, but it looked pretty nice out. Although I'm feeling a little better, I am still dealing with some temperature issues. I don't know how much you guys know about Graves' disease or thyroid disorder, but it throws your body temperature off. So at some point I can be hot, you know, not like hot flash hot, but hot. But then other times I can be extremely cold, and I mean cold to a point where my bones feel like they're just frozen in ice, right? And so no matter how much, you know, I'm wearing, no matter how high I turn up the heat, I'm still freezing. For instance, last night I went to bed in a pair of socks, some thermal underwear, some sweats, a t-shirt, a jacket, 2 sheets, 2 comforters, and I was still cold. So hey, it comes with the territory. And I'm not complaining. I'm just letting you know, because I'm believing that this is going to change right real soon. So anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So today, everyone, I wanted to come on here, and I'm sorry, but trying to do this on camera is crazy. Can't see which way I'm looking. Anyway, on Saturday, I had a conversation about how to turn $30 into six figures. And someone behind the scenes asked me if I can really go into more detail about insurance, period. You know, and I was like, you know what, sure, why not? Because that's what I do, you know, as my profession. For those of you who don't know me, who just joining me, my name is Dorinda Monique Klink. I'm an income protection strategist. I help individuals identify areas of financial risk exposure. I put strategies in place that protect their income, their assets, their businesses, and most of all, the people that they love, their family, subsequently helping them to find some hidden treasure so that they can level up their finances, create some generational wealth, leave behind a legacy, and create a retirement plan that they've worked hard for and deserve. That's what I do. I sit down with individuals every day, helping them iron out all of their financial situations and putting some protections in place so that they can safeguard the things that they've worked hard for. So someone asked me behind the scenes if I could go into a little more detail about insurance. I said, you know what? Absolutely. So here's what I'm going to do, right? Here's what I'm going to do. For the next few days, I don't know, few days, for weeks, however long it takes, I'm going to talk about insurance. Every day, we're going to talk about something different as it pertains to insurance. Okay, so today we're going to just be real simple. We're going to be basic, and we're going to talk about what is insurance. Simple as that. What is insurance, right? Because what I found in my profession is that a lot of people don't want to have the conversation, because when you mention the word, hey, cuz, so the moment you mention the word insurance, a lot of people shy away because they immediately equate insurance with death versus looking at insurance as insurance, right? When we look at car insurance, we don't immediately say, oh, I'm going to have a car crash. When we get homeowners insurance, we don't automatically say, oh my God, my house is going to catch fire. But the moment we talk about life insurance, individuals all of a sudden become fearful and don't want to talk about it. And I think most of it is because they lack the education behind what actually insurance is and its purpose and other uses that can benefit you while you're living. Because insurance is not for the dead, it's for the living, okay? So I want to just share that with you real quickly. And so we're going to talk about what is insurance, okay? In a nutshell, insurance, the purpose of insurance is to indemnify you. And the word indemnify means to make whole, right? It means to put you back in the position you were in before whatever it was that happened. So insurance is to indemnify you, and it's a means of protection. And basically it's like a pillow. You got that pillow, and as things happen, insurance helps that thing not to hurt as bad, right? So you have this safety net called insurance that indemnifies you when something is happening. Hey, Mark Gully. And so, and I'm just looking away here because I got some notes over here. And so basically, insurance is a means of risk management, right? Risk management means just what it is. It manages the amount of risk. And so insurance kind of leverages that, it kind of helps you to reduce the amount of loss, right? So it indemnifies you, puts you back to square one, puts you back to where you were, and it reduces the amount of loss, okay? The second thing is that that loss can be financial or not financial, but it has to, at the end of the day, be able to be reduced down to dollars and cents, right? Now, this is where it's going to get kind of tricky for some people because they're not going to follow me when I say it has to be reduced down to dollars and cents. So, for instance, if you have auto insurance, it repairs or replaces your vehicle in the event of an accident or theft, right? If you have homeowners insurance and there's a fire or a flood or, a tree falls into your roof, it repairs or replaces the damaged portion of your house or the entire house if need be, right? Because it can be reduced to a dollar amount. It can be, determined by market value, right? Your car can be determined by blue book value. Now, when it comes to life insurance, of course, we cannot repair or replace a life, but that life can still be reduced to a financial amount. And here's what I mean by that. Of course, we can't say, I can't say my life is worth $1 million, right? Because you just can't put a price on a loved one. There's just no such thing. You can't put a price on a loved one. But when it comes to life insurance, we gather a price by looking at the income potential of that person. And from there, we determine how much the remaining loved ones will lose now that that person is no longer living, right? So for instance, let's say I made $50,000 a year, for instance. Well, you know what, for easy math, let's just say I made $100,000 a year. And I have a 13-year-old son. Okay, so for my son to be 13, there would take about 8 years for him. No, he'll be 14. So it'll take 7 years for him to turn 21, right? Which is usually about the age when a child graduates college. So it'll be about 7 years before he turns 21. So if I made $100,000 a year and I died today, or I sat in front of an insurance agent today, I want to make sure that I can replace the income that he would lose if I died today. So 100,000 times 7 years would be 700,000. So I should have approximately $700,000 worth of insurance so that my son can continue living the life he lived before I passed away, if that makes sense. If that makes sense, put a 1 in the comments for me, if that makes sense. And the reason I'm sharing this is because a lot of people, when I sit down with people, they'll say, oh, well, I'll just need about $10,000. And then I'll find out they have 3, 4 children. No, we're not just trying to bury you. You got babies that still have to be supported. And, a lot of times people say, well, oh, my sister will take care of them, or my mom will take care of them. Well, think about it. Let's say you have 5 children, okay? Mom has, I say, a 3-bedroom home, and, I don't know, she's got a small house, 1 bed, 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. It's her and grandpa and the dog, who knows? But now you got 5 kids. You just totally uprooted her life when she had to take in your children. Well, I shouldn't say you, but when she has to take in those children, her life just turned upside down, right? So now she has to find room for those children. She has to make sure those children have food and shelter and clothing and way to get to school. If there's little ones, now she has to also pay for childcare in the event that grandma is still of working age. And nowadays, a lot of grandmas are 70 years old, still working, right? Because that's just how the times are. We're not saving and building up retirement funds. But I'm gonna tell you, that's another conversation we're gonna definitely have one day. But we're gonna keep on topic, and we're going to continue talking about this life insurance. So grandma takes in those 5 children, and now she has to make do with either those 3 bedrooms and those 5 kids, or she has to figure out how she's going to purchase or rent a new home that can fit her new family comfortably. Okay, because see, it's different when grandma has the kids over because you went to the club. everybody can put a pallet on the floor, right? But it's a whole lot different. It's a completely different scenario when grandma is all of a sudden taking care of those children on a regular basis. It's not the same. Okay, it's definitely not the same. So let's say grandma is working. It's possible grandma now has to stop working so she can raise those children, so that she can make sure the children are raised properly and not, by her and not by the street. So now grandma also needs to have a salary. So I hope you're now understanding why $10,000 is not enough. We have to make sure there's enough money available to raise those kids when you're no longer here to raise them yourself, because God has called you home. Okay? On top of that, we also want to make sure each and every one of those children gets to college, if that's the wish of the parent. Some parents like, you know what, I'm not going to pay for the college expense, and that's fine. My mama didn't pay for mine. She said, you know what, I don't know what you're going to do, but you're going to either get a job or you're going to go to college, but you're going to get up out of here. There's still parents that think that way. So what did I do? I called Citibank because I said, hey, my mama said I got to get out. I got to get a job. I got to go to school. And I did some financial aid. So, some parents may not want to plan for their children to go to college, but you definitely have to plan for your children to be taken care of, okay? It's a must. So when I sit down with people and you tell me, well, I just need $10,000, I just need to be buried. No. Here's another thing. If you're 20 or 30 or 40 years old and you're telling me you just want to be buried and you just need $10,000, your thinking is completely skewed, because just like the price of tea, cheese, butter, milk, bread, eggs, and pot roast, prices go up. And unless you're planning on dying tomorrow, $10,000 is not going to cut it if you're 30, 40, 50 years old. If you're 30 years old, you've got well over 50 years left to live. Can you imagine what the cost of a burial is going to be 50 years down the road? I guarantee you it won't be $10,000. So you have to prepare looking into the future, not looking at what you think is going to cost or what you just spent to bury your loved one, because the cost of a product today is not the cost of a product tomorrow. Okay, so I need you to really understand that. And we're going to go into that a little further in detail a little bit down the road when we start talking about how to determine what, coverage is best and how to determine the amount of coverage that you should be taking out. Okay, so the next thing we have to do after we break it down to reducible amount, we want to also make sure we have insurable interest. So a lot of times I'll sit down with a young lady who has children and she'll say, can I take insurance out on my baby daddy? And my answer to her is, yep, because she has an insurable interest, meaning as long as she has children with that man, if that man were to die, she's now forced to have to pay to take care of those kids on her own without his assistance. Now, he may not be taking care of them kids right now anyway. Who knows? I'm not here to judge. But the bottom line is this. No matter whether he is or he isn't, them kids got to get to college. Them kids deserve a fair chance at life. So yes, by all means, get some insurance on the other parent, whether it's the baby daddy or the baby mama. I don't care which one, but get the insurance. Now, the only way you can get that insurance is if they give you their permission. And their permission is granted by signing those documents. Don't go forging nobody's signature. Don't find yourself locked up. Let me repeat that. Don't go forging nobody's signature and find yourself locked up. I've had many of people we've called on policy holders who no longer have an agent, and we'll say, hey, I'm calling for Mr. Jones, just wanted to follow up with you, want to sit down and do an annual review on your insurance policy. He's like, what insurance policy? What you talking about? I don't have no insurance with y'all. Like, but according to this, you do. To find out somebody baby mama then put some insurance on them and forge some signature. Now you got all hell breaking loose, and now you're trying to understand why, you know, heads is cracking and the police is called. Let's not do that. Let's be decent in the things that we do, right? There's always a way to go to a person and ask and let them know. Be honest. Don't be spiteful. Let them know what it is that you're trying to do. Sit them down and say, listen, you know what? Regardless of our relationship, we have children together. And our children deserves a fair shot at life. So therefore, my desire for our children is for them to go to college. Now, it doesn't matter if this is the woman or the man having this conversation, but somebody needs to be man enough or woman enough to say our children deserve a fair chance at life. Let's make sure that if one of us passes away, we can still get these babies to college. We can still pay for college, still continue to make sure they have a roof over their head. And here's something that a lot of people don't understand. Divorce and death are real hard on a child. Divorce and death are hard for a child. So if a child loses a parent, especially a parent that they've grown connected to, that child may need some therapy. So who's going to pay for that? Make sure you have that life insurance in place for both parents so that your child can have an equal and you know, opportunity at life. If they don't, it's your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault. I'm just keeping it real. It's your fault. But listen, let's move on. So there must be insurable interest. Okay. So here's another example. You can't go and, let's say, insure your neighbor's house, and then your neighbor's house blows up, and then expect you're going to get a check. No, because you don't have anything to lose. In order to have insurable interest, you have to have something to lose. So in that example of the children, the spouse that's holding the children or who has the children, if the other spouse passes, the spouse with the child has something to lose. Well, really, both parents have something to lose. You know, let's just keep it real. Both parents have something to lose, meaning they stand to lose that half of the income that was going towards the children that the other parent was taking care of. So they stand to lose something. It's been brought down to a reducible factor, which can be determined by dollars and cents, and they're staying to lose something. So you have to be in position to lose something, okay? You can't get something if you don't stand to lose it, okay? So you can't go and insure your neighbor's house. You can't go and put life insurance on your ex-boyfriend or your ex-girlfriend because they made you mad. You know, if you don't have a relationship with them where there's children, or if you don't have a relationship with them where you know, you've been together a certain amount of years and, you know, you're actually acting as husband and wife, then you don't have an insurable interest, okay? And remember, you still have to get that person's signature. And if they tell you no, then I don't know what you're going to do. You probably want to start investing. And again, that's another conversation that we're not going to talk about today. Hey, Miss Zena. There also must be a consideration between, y'all hear that? Somebody is ringing my doorbell. Are they serious? Apparently they're not watching Facebook. I don't even know what to do right now. I know what it is. I ordered a sweatshirt that said it's all my fault. I swear I really won't. And they banging on my door. Are you kidding me? Y'all hold on. I'll be right back. Okay, that was awkward. Okay, so as I was saying, hey Yolanda, yes, that is crazy, right? All of a sudden, the doggone, that was just the UPS guy started banging on my door. That's just crazy. Only in the hood, right? So, hey Corey, hey Rosemary McCombs. So, I'm gonna open this for you guys real quick. I saw this T-shirt and I fell in love with it because everything that happens to us, we tend to blame it on somebody else, right? What that say? Everything is my fault. Y'all see it? Everything is my fault because you have the power to change your own situation. So everything that happens to you, good or bad, is your fault. I got it in a T-shirt and a hoodie. Anyway, you can find that on Impact Theory. So where were we? Back to where we were. So also with insurance, there must be consideration. Okay, there must be consideration between an insured person and an insurer. So consideration basically means, you know, here's this contract. And in this contract, the insurance company says that I, Mr. Insurance Company, promise to place a covering over your head, you, your family, your car, your house, whatever it is. I promise to put a covering over you and protect you, and then pay out something if a catastrophe happens. And you, as the insured, says, okay, I'll give you money to do that every month. And that money is called a premium. Now, here's where things get tricky. If you stop giving the money, they'll stop doing the covering. Repeat after me. If you stop giving the money, they're going to remove the covering. Now, they do give you this thing called a grace period, which allows you 30 additional days. But some of y'all want to pinch away y'all's life insurance. Y'all want to play it like an ATM. And then you pinch off too much, and then all of a sudden, your policy lapses. Or you haven't gotten a handle on your spending habits because your money mindset is screwed up. And so because of that, when things start getting a little difficult and your pocket get a little tight and your britches feel like a little, ooh, I got to do something different here, or the lights gonna get cut off. Well, instead of you taking back that outfit or deciding to wear your natural hair and not that weave, or instead of you hand washing your car and not going to the car wash and spit shining it, eventually I'm gonna come down your lane. Instead of you shaving off your expenses for things that you don't need, instead you'll cut off your life insurance. And let me tell you why that is not the wisest thing to do. We'll talk about that in detail at a later date, but let me just drop this on you. Here's why that's not wise. Because every year you get older, your insurance gets more expensive. And as your health changes, if you start to have some ailments, now I'm not talking about something like high cholesterol or arthritis. I'm talking a little more serious, heart disease, COPD, diabetes, cancer, heart attack, stroke, smoking, obesity, anorexia. And the list goes on and on. And as you start stacking one ailment on top of the other, all of a sudden that insurance grows to a price that you can no longer afford. What happens with your children? Seeing how you're obese and you got all those health ailments, that clock be ticking. And if you got minors at home, you pass away too soon. Now those kids are struggling to find a way to bury mom and dad. Why would you leave that debt for your children to bear? I don't know about you, but when I had my child, when I had my daughter, oh my God, I was the most excited person in the world. And you know what I've always said? I want her to have the best life ever. I don't want her to ever live the life I lived. I want her to have the best of everything. I know I'm not the only one. I'm sure you said the same thing for your children. So if you want the best for all of your children, then why do you leave them in debt? Can you answer me that? If you want the best for your children, then why would you not purchase life insurance? Or why would you purchase life insurance and then cancel it because you are so selfish that you cannot stop your poor spending habits and develop a plan to pay for the things that are important? Your house, your food, your shelter, lights, gas, insurance. Why do you leave your children in debt? You leave them in a position to beg, borrow, and steal. You leave them in position to become embarrassed because they're online every day asking people like you and me on Facebook, on Instagram, to bury my parent. Please help me. Go fund me. That's embarrassing. Not only is it embarrassing, but it's painful. Because imagine this, picture this. You just lost a child. That's a hard pill to swallow. And then on top of the loss of a child, you have to figure out where you're going to find $10,000, $12,000 to bury your child. And then after you finish lowering yourself, you have to humble yourself and go to some people, some family members who don't like you, some family members who think less of you, and you have to humble yourself and stand before them with your hand out and ask them with tears in your eyes, can you help me bury my child or my loved one or my spouse or my parent? Can you? And then to top it all off, as if that's not enough, after you've borrowed the funds, it doesn't end there, because guess what? Not everybody is going to say, here, take this $100 and put it on a bill. Somebody's going to say, I gave you my bill money and I need it back. So now not only did you have to beg, borrow, and steal to bury your loved one, now you have to also figure out how you're going to go from a 3-day bereavement of burying your loved one back to work, begging for overtime, so you can not just pay your household expenses, but pay back the person that paid you to bury your loved one. But you think that's okay? You're cool with that. I know you are, because I sit with people every single day and I have this conversation every day, and they tell me the same thing over and over again. Not my problem. They'll figure it out. How about that? But we call these people our loved ones. And some of you are feeling that same way right now. They'll figure it out. But I don't know about you, but no matter how mad my children make me, I will never put that type of financial burden on my child to a point where the last thing that they remember of me is that I love them so little that I left them with a debt that they could not pay back. How dare you? How dare you? Now, I want to just take a moment to apologize to each and every one of you right now, because I had no intention to come on and preach a sermon. I had no intention to come on and make anyone feel any kind of way. I really didn't. I only came here to share with you the information about insurance because someone asked, and this is what I do on a daily basis. But I tell you this. My Facebook family and my Facebook friends, those of you who I know very well, I'm sitting here sharing this because I love you that much. And I know you love your family even more so than that. And so I'm just sharing with you what I see on a daily basis. It happens. I also have people tell me over and over and over again, you know what, I can't do it right now. I'll do it next month. Do you know how many people's homes I go to next month to find out that they're not there? No, they didn't move. I had a young lady to tell me, you know, well, my fiance says he's going to pay for it. You can come back Saturday, which was a week later. I tried calling him over and over again, couldn't get through. 2 weeks passed. I finally reached him. He says, oh, she's in the hospital right now. I can't do nothing. She's in the hospital. Right? She gets out the hospital. I can't reach her. A couple of days later, I finally just go to his house and I knock on the door. Hey, you know, your fiance said that she really wanted this insurance. You know, I just want to make sure we're still on the same page because I definitely don't want to be wasting your time and I don't want to harass you, but I just wanted to reach out. He stood there holding the door open with tears in his eyes and he told me, he said, you know what? She died yesterday. I hear it a lot. Your days are numbered. Tomorrow is not promised. Instead of buying those shoes, those cigarettes, that case of beer, there's something far more important. It's called your family. If you can't find $25, $50, $100, whatever it takes to make sure that your family is protected, that's a problem. So life insurance is not for the dead. Life insurance is for the living. Life insurance is put in place so that your family doesn't have to suffer a financial loss. And if you don't love your family enough to make sure that they don't have to go broke trying to put dirt on top of you, that's a problem. That's a real problem. And you should probably have a seat in front of a mirror and have a conversation with yourself and ask yourself exactly, what do you value most? Your family or those things you like spending your money on? Because there's no way in this world that I can afford Jordans for my son. There's no way in the world that I can afford that trip to Italy for my daughter. There's no way I can afford to send my grandkids to college. But you know what? The day I die, they'll get every single thing they ever wanted and then some. Because it's the least I can do for them. It's the least I can do for my babies. There's no way I would want my 27-year-old daughter to be faced with a $12,000 bill if I died right now. My mom is in her 70s. She's on a fixed income like most of our mothers and fathers are. There's no way I would want my mother to take money out of her Social Security income so that she can put dirt on me. Come on. Just so she can give me a decent resting place? Nah, I can't do it. And I hope you can't either. So there has to be a consideration. And the insurer says, I'll protect you as long as you're paying me every single month that amount that we agreed upon. Who is the insured? The insured doesn't have to always be the policy owner. In some instances, the policy owner could be a parent, the insured could be a child. Sometimes the owner of the insurance policy is the child and the insured is the parent. If the parent is now up in age and the child wants to make sure that mom and dad is covered. The insured could be anybody as long as you have an insurable interest. And the owner is the person who owns the policy, the one who takes responsibility for the policy. They're the ones that can make the changes of the beneficiaries and things of that nature. The beneficiary, of course, is the person who receives the death benefit. And it doesn't have to be the owner of the policy. It could be anyone. For instance, I could be the owner of a policy where my mom is the insured and my children can be the beneficiary, because as the owner, I can set it up the way that I so desire. But the person who owns the policy is the one that makes the changes to the policy. So, with that being said, again, I want to apologize if I stepped on some toes, and I'm sure that I have. I know that I have, because I've done this for 18 years and I see it every day in what I do. I see it every single day. There's no days that ever pass that I don't sit with someone who has these conversations with me and beats their head on the wall and tells me all the reasons why they can't afford insurance, but yet I'm looking around their houses and they got 50 each screen TVs and they got, Cavassier sitting on the counter and they smoking, they chain smoking or whatever the case may be. I see it every day. And it's a point of priority. It's a point of priority, and it's a point of who do you love more? Those things or the people that we say we love, our family, our children, our parents. I don't know about you, but in my life, my most prized possession is my family. And you can't put a dollar amount on those. And because of that, I make sure that I do what's necessary to protect them from financial loss. Because one day I will die. I know that. Because as surely as you are born, you will also leave this place. And I'll just ask the same question that most pastors ask. Are you prepared? That's all. Have a wonderful evening. As always, it's your girl, Doreen Klink. I love you. Stay safe. Be blessed.